So welcome everyone to day number 9 of the Sewing Room Declutter Challenge 2026. I'm Karen Brown of Just Get It Done Quilts, and together we are going to be clearing out the unwelcome, the unwanted, and the no longer necessary to make space for a year full of creativity, clarity, and joy. Today we are working with thread. Thread may be the supporting actor in quilting, as fabric gets most of the attention and almost all the budget. But thread is what literally holds it all together. And chances are you have at least one spool in your sewing space that is older than you are. So the step 1, as always, is to set your timer. And this day may feel like a bit of a scavenger hunt, as these spools can end up everywhere. They can be collected from your sewing machine area, your drawers, your cabinets, hand sewing projects and traveling kits, projects bags, studio or long arm areas, not to mention the rest of your house and maybe your car. And yes, this includes bobbins too. And when you pull it all together, it tells a very honest story. And the question of the day is the same as yesterday. Do I use this thread here? Just like tools, thread has a function. What type of sewing is this spool for? Where do I actually use it? Regular 50-weight thread most likely goes near your sewing machine. King spools go with your long arm. Serger thread near the serger. Hand sewing or finer threads with your slow stitch kits. And embroidery thread with your embroidery supplies. So step 2 is to define the capacity you want this category to hold. And this might be a drawer, a rack, a container, or a tray. And it can be all three, depending on where you use it. Specialty trays or organizers can help increase your capacity. I tripled my thread capacity with these foam board trays that I made to fit my drawers perfectly. And I'll leave a link to that video in the notes. Step 3 is to declutter anything that doesn't serve you. And anything that doesn't fit, it's time for the hard questions. Those metallic threads that you used once, are you ever going to use them again? Specialty weights like 12 weight or 100 weight, do they suit how you sew now? Threads for other crafts, how many of those projects will you make in the next 5 years? Decluttering isn't about thinking about someday. It's about supporting the sewing that you are doing now. If you still need to cull, think about spool shapes. If the majority of your threads are one shape, the ones that are different are going to be harder to fit in. And I want to take a moment to talk about legacy today. So many of us have inherited thread from a mother, a grandmother, an aunt, or just another quilter. These old wooden spools are just beautiful. Some even bring back memories. I can see my grandmother's sewing machine, the table, and the drawers where the threads were stored just by holding this. But here's the hard truth about thread. Thread deteriorates over time. It can become brittle and weak, and from experience, they can even get gummy. Plus, they collect dust that will affect your tension and will drive you mad. I was surprised to find out that thread has a shelf life of about 10 years. And that includes the time that the spool sat in the inventory of the manufacturer, the distributor, and the quilt shop. So I am giving you permission to let it go. You can keep those wooden spools as keepsakes or use it in an art project. I keep this in my treasure box. Use questionable thread only for basting. This one I remember using for a home ec project 50 years ago, but I use it up in basting my English paper piecing. And let go of anything without a label. You can't trust what you can't identify. And remove anything that doesn't make the cut from your space. Certainly thread that you no longer need can be passed to another quilter, but the older threads you obviously don't want to pass on the same way. I am told that some school teachers like them for crafts. Don't use them for bird nests. I have been told by many people that it's not good for the birds. And don't forget about your bobbins. Keep them with the sewing machine that they belong to, and donate any bobbins that no longer fit your machine. And ask yourself, how many do you actually need? Personally, I can get away with about 5. But when I started long arming, I thought I would need hundreds. But it turns out I prefer to use pre-wound bobbins, so I don't need many at all. And for those bobbins with leftover bits, they're perfect for working on practice pieces or bonus blocks. Or wind all the leftovers onto one bobbin and label it for basting. That's what I keep in my Hexie kit now. And don't forget to spend at least 5 minutes on your Declutter Challenge project. I have had so much fun making these jammy jars. Now, by popular demand, we have handout sheets for the daily challenges, if you are a person that enjoys using those, as well as some suggestive videos for you to watch about thread. There's a link to those in the video notes below, as well as the daily blog. Now it's your turn to share. Did you take a moment and organize all your spools by color like I did? Did you find a thread nest, a relic, or a long-lost favorite? Share your progress online and use this year's hashtag so that we can celebrate together. And this is a great day to post a picture. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow for day number 10.